Hello, Glitter Witches, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to answer a question that I've gotten sporadically throughout the past few years is what herbs I use the most in practice. So I thought I would gather a couple things. I have 5 herbs here that I think I use the most, and then one honorable mention because it was kind of a tie. I really needed to include it. So we'll say this is the 6 most used herbs in my practice. And I also included a cologne because I find myself using it all the time. So that is what this video is going to be about. I'm going to talk about the herbs, why I use them, and why I love them so much. So let's get started. So when preparing for this video, I wasn't sure whether I was going to take my experiential reasons for using these herbs or if I was going to kind of look at a reference point, and I kind of thought I would marry them both together as best as I can. Now, this is in no means going to be comprehensive. This is just kind of what I use them for, how I see them, and how I have found success in them. It's probably going to kind of illuminate the type of magic that I use and the way that I use witchcraft, which is okay. That's completely fine. So I have 6 here, and I also have a couple reference points. So the first one that I have is Voodoo Hoodoo Spellbook is the one that I have open today just as a reference point. And then if I look over here, I just thought about this. I'm just gonna have a little informal moment. I also have this book, which I may look at. When I'm doing any sort of working, sometimes I just go to the shelf and I just kind of peruse, and whatever I feel like I want to grab, I grab. And I use it just however I feel inclined to use it. Other times, if I'm doing something and I'm kind of not sure what I want to use, these are typically the 2 books that I go to, but there are a multitude of different books that have references for herbs and other things that you can use to create your own working. So feel free to do whatever you want to do. This is just how I use them. So enough with all the bullshit. Let's just get into it. So to start off, I'm going to just start with the cologne, and everybody knows what that is. It's Florida water. When I first got Florida water, I knew what it was used for. I believe it's used for cleansing and things of that nature. I like to wear this. This is typically what part of my normal ritual. I say that word loosely, but I guess it is a ritual before any sort of working, whether it's just a candle spell or anything actively magical that I'm going to do. If I'm creating something for magic, I always use some of this on my hands. And I just say my own little prayers and thoughts. I typically put it behind my ears. I'll usually rub the top and bottom of my feet with Florida water. I feel like it just opens myself up to allow things to happen more naturally. It obviously is cleansing, and I think it helps you get into that liminal space. That word's used a lot now, but I really do believe that. So I think Florida water is a must. There's many different, I was about to say holy waters, spiritual waters that you can use, like Kananga water and things of that nature, which I also have. But this, I just think, is the cream of the crop. I think it's versatile. And if you don't have Florida water, you need to get it. I believe you can order it off Amazon, and you can also get it at Walmart. If you live in a predominantly Spanish area, every Walmart may not carry it. But I love Florida water, so you should definitely check that out. Okay, starting with the herbs. So the first herb, I guess you can call, is coffee. Now, I prefer coffee bean or freshly ground, but gas is fucking expensive and the world is going up in flames. So you do what you gotta do. This is just instant coffee. I use coffee a lot, more than I thought I would. And it's mainly a proponent of the fact that I'm impatient, and coffee really helps awaken and speed up the process of magical workings. This is also great for ancestral veneration. If you have an ancestor altar or even an altar to any deity, coffee is a great thing to use if you're wanting to work if you're wanting work to get done, if you're asking for something to get done. Coffee is very energizing. It's awakening. It's helps you speed things up. Now, that can have its positives and its negatives, as I have found through my own practice. Speeding things up doesn't always equal the result you want, or the best result you could have gotten if you could have let things happen naturally. That's why I think it's also very important to be cognizant of the magic you're doing and how reactive you are to things. But I do love coffee. I still probably use it too much in my practice, but it's a must have. I always have it, and I'm a slow learner. So, you know, if you're willing to risk it, use some coffee. Another favorite of mine. Now, these are in no particular order. It would be hard for me to put these in an order, but if I did, this would be at pretty close to the top. And it's ground cloves. Also prefer whole. I was looking through my little apothecary shelf over here and I didn't have any more, but I do have the ground. Clove can mean many different things. Some people use it for domination. Some people use it for love, for friendship, for money. I mean, really any herb can be used for anything. Some are more successful at things than others, but I love clove because I feel like for me, I use it when I want something, which 9 times out of 10, when we're doing magic, we want something, depending on the perspective of which you're looking at the working. But I find clove to be very bonding in the sense that it is almost like a magnet, is how I view it and how I have experienced it in workings. It pulls stuff. It pulls what you want towards the working. And when you're talking about love or friendship or money, I don't find it as successful in protection for me personally. But if I'm wanting something, clove is always going to be included in the candle or some sort of aspect of the working, because I feel like it's a magnet to pull those things in. I've used it when I've worked with Saint Expedite, any sort of money spells, job spells. I always use clove. I find that there's something special about it that just kind of sucks that energy into the working, and I just find that it's more well-rounded when I add clove. The next herb is garlic. This is something I use no matter what kind of protection working I am doing. I always use garlic. I use it in war water. I use it if I put up wards in the house. Always, 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 always use garlic. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. The smell, it feels rancid to me. And it's just very disgusting smelling. I don't like the smell of garlic. And for some reason, to me, that just resonates with a very strong protective element. Obviously, if you refer to any sort of magical books, a lot of them are going to tell you this is used for protection as well. And I find it very, very effective. So garlic is always a must in my practice. Talking about protection leads to my next favorite herb. And I find this herb to be, garlic is like the guard at the front gate. You know, you get some protection. They may not be the most well trained. I think this is the sniper of the group, and that is ginger. Obviously, ginger root's more preferred, but we're on a budget. We're a witch on a budget, bitch. So you do what you got to do. Ground ginger. I feel like this is a sniper of the situation. I'm one of the type of practitioners that if I have an issue or I need protection or I feel like I'm under some sort of attack, I always start at the beginning of a scale from 1 to 5, right? How big is the threat? What am I feeling? What am I being told? I'm going to start here and work my way up. I never start at the big guns. To me, ginger is a big gun protective herb. To me, I typically pair this with the Fiery Wall of Protection oil from, oh my God, I can't even remember the name of it now. Art of the Root. This is my all-time. Garlic always comes in second. Ginger is my all-time favorite herb to use for protection. I don't see a lot of people talk about ginger. So I don't know what other people use this for. If you use ginger, what do you use it for in your practice? Because for me, this is the best protective herb that I've probably ever used. It well outdoes sage and garlic, in my opinion. I love ginger for protection. Okay, the next herb is a flower, and it is carnations. I'm running low. It's time to run to the store. Yes, carnations. I love to add carnations for strength, to add some oomph behind the working. And I find that it adds a sweetness, an element of sweetness, while still exerting that kind of brute force. I don't use carnations a lot. It's something that I actually learned from, I believe, Hoodoo Delish here on YouTube. And a lot of these herbs, I would say, coffee, ginger, and then the next herb, and obviously the carnations, is something I've really become accustomed to through watching people who integrate hoodoo into their practice and other forms of magic to kind of broaden my horizon and the use of flowers and other things besides kind of what I was really aware of. So this is great to add some oomph to your spell work. Big proponent of carnations, specifically when it comes to candle spells. So if you haven't tried carnations, you should check it out. There's some good information I'm sure you can find in some other books. I found it here on YouTube, so you should definitely check it out. Okay, so the last one. It's not a twofer. They kind of go hand in hand. This is some hot sauce seasoning that I will use in a pinch, and then some red pepper flakes. This is typically when I'm doing something not so nice. Protection. I will use this sometimes if I want to burn somebody or add some heat, you know what I mean, to working red pepper flakes. There was a time in my practice, probably a year or so ago, that I was using stuff like this a lot. It's not so common anymore for the type of workings that I'm doing, but if you're hexing or cursing or pushing some not so nice shit, red pepper flakes can really add some oomph to that working. So if you're in that predicament, go pick some up and try it out. So those are the herbs, flowers, spiritual waters that I use typically the most in my practice, ones that are kind of my favorites. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I've been asked a couple times, and I'm trying to get back into the flow of making content. So I'm trying to go back through old video ideas and comments people have made to kind of get me, back into the flow, get back on the bike and start writing again. It's taking me a little bit. If you didn't see my last video, I did want to let you guys know again that Sundays are going to be the days that I post videos. So every Sunday you can expect a new video. Not really going to post or plan to post any other day of the week. So that's kind of the housekeeping update. I will probably be reiterating this for the next couple of videos just so people are aware of kind of what's going on. But every Sunday you can expect a video from me. I also wanted to say thank you to Taya Kennedy. She made a video a little while ago and shouted out my merch line. I appreciate it so much. You're so sweet. Thank you for purchasing some merch. This is an item from my merch line designed by moi, and it's Basic Witch because we all know that's what I am. There is a link down below in the description box if you want to check out the merch. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, there's a couple different designs. There's a tote bag, there's some sweaters, some t-shirts. So if you want to pick up some Glitter Witch Coven merch, please do. And if you do pick up some merch, I would love to see it. So definitely send it to me or tag me on Instagram. With all that being said, that is the conclusion of today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you next Sunday, Glitter Witches. Bye.